Hello, what this video will be about is how to use unit rate factors when you're going to be calculating the cost for the week of each of your ingredients. And so up to this point, what we've done, we look down here, first of all, you wrote your recipe number down and the units that were involved in the recipe. Then you divided it by the number of servings that it had for that recipe and got a per serving amount in the same units. And then for this column, we multiplied the per serving amount times how many servings we're going to require for the week of that particular menu item. So in this case, my smoked mac and cheese, I said we were going to have 140 orders in a week's time. And so then we just took each of the per serving, multiplied it by 140, and got the amount of each ingredient. So this is the amount that's required and the units. Then what we did last week was go grocery shopping, basically. So you looked at your ingredients and found a cost per some kind of unit. So whatever was convenient for you, that's the unit you use. So for example, for elbow macaroni, I went in and found the price of elbow macaroni, divided it by how many ounces there were in the container, and then I got this number here. Now yours might only be when you look at your own spreadsheet, you might have it rounded to the nearest penny. In fact, I think I asked you to format it in terms of money at that time, so it was going to be just in dollars. All right, so what we're going to do today is learn how to create this next column, which is going to be column J. So today we're just going to do a few practice problems from my example. So in each case, you want to start off with the amount required. Okay, so in the case of elbow macaroni, I require 35 pounds. And the abbreviation for pounds, LB. Now that's not a fraction, but I'm going to just make it into a fraction here. And then the next thing, so this is the amount that we require up here from column, I don't remember what column that was. I think it was column F. And then in column H, F, G, H, yeah, in column H, we had the cost of the ingredient. So that's what I need you to multiply next. So the cost of the ingredient, and that was, what, 0.118. So in this case, and always for this fraction, I want you to put the dollar sign to show that it's money. And so it was 0.11, and I'm just going to round to 3 decimal places. When you do this on the computer, you won't have to worry about rounding because you're just going to point to that in your formula. But anyway, for these pencil and paper practice problems, you're going to round it. All right, so that is dollars per what? Per ounce. So the word per really means like divided by in a fraction. So I'm going to write per ounce. All right, now I put a times here because I just like to be able to multiply 35 pounds times $1.18, but it's per ounce. Pounds and ounces are not the same unit. So what I need to do is figure out what unit rate factor do I know that I could make a comparison or an equation of ounces and pounds. Well, we know that 16 ounces is equal to 1 pound. Okay, and that was something that we had talked about and looked at a couple weeks ago. And so what you want to happen is you want the ounces to cancel. So I would, if it's in the bottom of a fraction, I need it to be in the top. And I want pounds to cancel. So since that's in the top or the numerator of a fraction, I want to put it in the denominator. So pounds. And then I'm going to put in the 16 in for the ounces and the 1 in for the pounds. Okay, so now I have 3 fractions that I'm going to multiply, but I want to cancel my units now. Just as we talked about here, the pounds would cancel, the ounces would cancel, and the only unit left is this dollars. So I'm going to put the dollar sign there. Now I need to multiply 35 times 0.118 times 16. So I'm going to pull a calculator here. And it was 35. Let's see if I can do this. 35 times 0.118 times 16, and that's equal to 6608. And then if we looked at the bottom of the fraction, in this case, there's nothing other than a 1, right? 1, 1, and this would be a 1. 1, 1, 1. So basically my answer, because anything divided by 1 is itself. So my cost for 35 pounds of elbow macaroni is going to be $66.08. Okay? So again, you start with the required amount, I'll abbreviate amount, and then this is the cost of the ingredient. And these two things will be right in the spreadsheet. This section here, if you need it, you'll have to look it up, or you'll, I'm going to show you on a few problems here where we can go into Google to look up. In fact, if you would have forgotten how many ounces are in a pound, you would have just typed in how many ounces in a pound in the Google search, and it would give you the answer. All right, so our next one is flour. And if I look at, so in this worksheet, basically, we're not going to use any of this. So we're going to always look over here, and it says 0.87 cups, or 8.7 cups, I'm sorry. 8.75 cups of flour is what I need for all those 140 orders of mac and cheese. So I'll put over 1. And then the amount of cost per flour, flour is pretty cheap, and it looks like it says it is 49 cents per pound. So I'll put a dollar sign, and I want you to always remember in this second fraction to put the dollar sign. 0.49 cents per pound. I don't know if did I round that? Yeah, I guess that was as far as it went. All right, now I would have cups and pounds per 1 pound output. Now I need the pound to cancel, and I need cups to cancel. So I need to know how many cups are in a pound of flour. How many cups are in a pound of flour? I don't know that answer. So I'm going to go up here to my Google search, new tab, and type in how many. You can see where I've done some of this already. Oops. How many cups in a pound of flour? And hit enter. And it looks like right here, it looks like maybe this is my answer, but I better read. It says a cup measure of 1 pound of flour will vary depending on the type of flour. Here's a guide. Your recipe calls use 3 1/3 cups. Okay, so 3 1/3. Now we can't use fractions on most of our calculators if you're using your cell phone. So you will need to convert that into a decimal. And I hope that you know 1/3 as a decimal is 0.333. So there would be 3.33, and that's repeating, but I'm just going to put it to 2. Well, maybe I'll put one more. 3.333 cups per 1 pound. All right, now we can go ahead and cancel. Cancel cups. Cancel the pounds. And then do the multiplication. So I'm going to basically take 8.75 times 0.49, which is 49 cents, and I'm going to get an answer. And so this one will have maybe just one more step. So let's go ahead, I'll pull up a calculator. And so I have 8.75 times 0.49 equals 4.2875. Let me write that. 4.2875. And my units would be still there, dollars. But instead of a 1 on the bottom like it was in the previous example, I'm going to have 1 times 3.33. 3.333. And so pull that calculator out again. Since that's already on my screen, 4.2875, all I need to do is divide it by 3.333. So it looks like, and this is money, So I'm going to write down $1.28. And I want you to box your answers because the boxed answers at the end of this packet or in the end of this worksheet, we're going to add up all of those.